Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. And I rise to make a contribution on the report on the 2024-25 budget estimates by the Public Accounts and Estimates Committee tabled on the 31st of October. Now, this is a very timely report, Deputy Speaker, given that this week it is the 10-year anniversary of the Labor government being elected. And there has been a particular focus this week of Victoria's and the state of Victoria's finances of late, particularly in the Australian Financial Review and by one of Australia's most esteemed economists, Sol Eslake. Now, I will return to the work of Mr Eslake, much to the concern of the member for Wendouree, I can see, momentarily. But first, I want to call out some of the findings made by the Public Accounts and Estimates Committee in this report. Deputy Speaker, the findings of this report are almost universally bleak. Finding 1 states that the government expects an operating deficit of $2.2 billion, while finding 3 states that interest on net debt will total $6.5 billion this financial year and is expected to reach $9.4 billion by 2027-28. And we know by 2028, Victorians will be paying more than $1 million an hour in interest on the Labor government's record debt. Now, that's an average of 7.8% of total revenue each year over the forward estimates in the interest bill in this state alone. It's no surprise, given these figures then, that one of Australia's most celebrated entrepreneurs, Dr Brian McNamee, has labelled Victoria simply uninvestable. Now, this is a common theme when it comes to the business community expressing their concern about the management of Victoria's finances under the Allan Labor government. We have the Chamber of Commerce listing Victoria as the place least preferable to do business in this state. We have one of Australia's most lauded business figures in Dr McNamee talking about it being uninvestable. We have the Australia Industry Group talking about the fact that it is simply impossible to encourage businesses to invest in this state. But unfortunately, there won't be much comfort for Dr McNamee or any others looking for green shoots when it comes to the Victorian economy among the other findings of the committee in this report. Labor, as we know, Deputy Speaker, had to find $1.5 billion in off-budget funding to keep Victorian hospitals afloat, according to finding 14. And we know now that the Treasurer is trying to find any loose change that he can to pay for the Health Minister's mismanagement of the health budget. In fact, he was very happy to go out and say publicly how concerned he was about the ministers under the Allan Labor government not managing their own budgets and not making sure that Victorians' money was being used appropriately under their watch. The findings in this report of PAEC paint a very, very bleak picture of the state of affairs here in Victoria. And as I said, these findings are completely consistent with the analysis in the AFR this week by Sol Eslake. Mr Eslake meticulously demonstrates how Labor's decade of economic mismanagement has laid waste to the living standards of Victorians. The debt, the interest on the debt, the decade of Labor reckless spending, these are all laid bare in the report by PAEC, but Mr Eslake's work goes a step further and shows exactly what it means for every Victorian every single day. Victoria's per capita gross product has declined from 1.7% above the national average back in 1999 to 11.5% below the national average in 2023-24. The story is very, very grim when it comes to household disposable income. In 2023-24, our per capita disposable income fell to 10% below the national average, behind even Tasmania. Victoria's living standards have fallen behind even Tasmania. To the Assistant Treasurer at the table. Now, to the Assistant Treasurer, Victorians are feeling this every day. They know that once they've paid their bills, their tax, their mortgage, there's not left in their pockets than there was 10 years ago. They're feeling poorer, and indeed they are poorer after a decade of waste and mismanagement by this government. You don't have to take Mr Eslake's word. You can look to the Victorian Auditor-General, who has said that the Allan Labor government's financial management is simply unsustainable. It's abundantly clear, Deputy Speaker, from this work that from the record taxes, from the mismanagement, the Victorians have less money in their pocket and they are paying for the price of this government's recklessness every single day.